Hi, my name is Vasquez, and the name of my exhibition is called The Search, La Búsqueda. Basically, the search is trying to find a comfortable space when I can find myself between the three different nationalities I'm always was exposed to as a kid. Well, this series of work I basically started with charcoal, and then I move on to graphite. Charcoal is very messy, so it's very hard to control. We want to make thin lines and things like that. So when I started working with graphite, I can handle all my drawings, and I can pull lines how I wanted them to go. So I can do something more specific rather than something more grotesque. Well, if you realize almost all the ones that have a muscle texture, at the end they all start from a center that is a fingerprint. It's a huella. The wordplay that I was working on was huella, footprint, and but huella can also be your huella digital that it can be your fingerprint. So that was the words I was using to make my pieces. Well, basically, what I hope to get is my main target is to show the work. You know, work doesn't exist until it doesn't get shown. So, but once you have it, it's yours. One is yours from everyone. It's no longer yours. Well, if it was to talk about stories that someone has to take. I think it's more all the stories that I have that I can tell, because it's almost like that. Because behind each piece is there's a story behind each one, and it's not only what's behind the story, it's what happens every single day. Not only what you have in mind is what goes into the piece, is also what happens to you every day influence what you're gonna come out in your drawing as well. So I have many stories about being in Venezuela and growing up as with my Chilean father being the most influential culture at home. Then growing up and realizing that I grew up in Venezuela and realizing that I had a love for my own country, not a country that was so far away that it was not mine. And when I came to Trinidad, I realized that there were traits or things at home that were done that I didn't know they were not Venezuelan, but I didn't know if they were Chilean either. But when I got to Trinidad, I realized that it came from my mother's side. So they surfaced, like the way she cooked, things like that. Like she made pilau at home and things like that. That I didn't know. Probably in my mind, I thought they were all Venezuelan, but in truth, they were all from here. I think, regardless of the style, I think if you can develop your own style, that's great. But I think what each artist has to keep in mind that all of these things are part of Trinidad culture. All of these and people who think, oh well, that looks so American. Well, it might look American, but it's still merged to be part of this culture. You know, things don't just everything's probably you saw that video. Everything's a remix. So probably sometimes you won't be original, but you can create your own original thing out of it. Well, before my exhibition, I was doing a project called Who Am I? Well, which I was taking my drawings as well. Well, not all, but the one with the teeth especially, and I tweaked the image a little bit, and I mass produced it as almost like skull cards, and I had people put them in their face like they were wearing my teeth, and I had them each. The deal was it's almost like a deal. So I give them a card and I tell them you get to keep the card if I get to take a picture of you with it on the face, but at the same time you need to tell me in one sentence only one who you are. So it's incredible to see all the responses you get. Some people talk about their creativity, some people talk about their emotions, some people talk about their skin color, some people talk about their patriotism, some people talk about things that happen to them in the day, you know. It all depends how you catch that person is the answer you're gonna get, you know. It's so difficult to describe yourself, you know, in one sentence. So sometimes people's like one, so all right. So sometimes I said three, and even in three words is impossible. I think even if you have to write a list, all of us, if we have to write a list, I think we will never end. And not only that, because you're always evolving. You're either changing into someone else, you're always learning something new. So what I understood of doing that project is probably we all are temporary, because we always are evolving into something else. So that's one of the projects I was doing. Yeah. Well, the goal of that, first of all, I have to explain, is not self-promotion, because hence that's why we have nicknames. But the whole idea is create artistic encounters. We started with pasting, and right now we're developing a much more interesting one. Probably you are gonna see it soon. And it's more about not only pasting but objects. So I think it's to see, yeah, it's not only that, but it's also we would like to see what people's um, reactions are. So probably we will sit around to see what happens. With the pastings, we don't usually do that because we don't know if it's legal or not. So we just paste and leave. But sometimes we realize that people like rip them off. For example, there were one we pasted close to Citygate, and we did that at 8 at night. And when I came to Port of Spain back the next morning at 8, and it no longer existed. It was ripped off completely off the wall, and it was huge. It was probably 5 feet by 3, and it was gone. I think what we need is support. Like this gallery, it's not a commercial gallery, so their main objective is not to sell. The main objective is to show the work. Yeah, I think to show the work, and not only showing the work is very important, but um, getting the biggest crowd that you can get. You know, that's one of the reasons why I don't only do, well, this is even my first show, but I think it's very important as well to do urban projects. So people can also, because if you think about it, almost less than 1% of the people go to galleries. So it's what, 100 people here? Over 1 million? It's not even a 1%. So a lot of people don't know about it. A lot of people don't care about it. A lot of people, so if they don't come to it, I think the idea is to bring it to them.